Good morning, dear class 10 students. Dear students, in history, we have to follow the ICC board syllabus, and in each chapter of the history, we have to deal with certain points only according to the syllabus mentions or according to the syllabus given to you all. So, in the fourth chapter of history, that is the second phase of Indian national movement, we will deal the certain points, and in this certain point we will discuss the main objective of assertive nationalists. So the main objective of assertive nationalists was the immediate attainment of Swaraj. So this is the part of objective of assertive nationalists, and here we are discussing about that what were the main objectives of the assertive nationalists. So here the assertive nationalists or the radicals, they wanted immediate attainment of Swaraj. That means immediate, we would call the achievement of freedom. This means complete independence and not just self-government as in the colonies of Australia and New Zealand. So the assertive nationalists, they wanted the complete independence of the country. So they did not want to be like colonies of Australia and New Zealand. Now, method of assertive nationalists. The main focus of the assertive nationalists was to get a larger share for Indians in administration of their country and to end British economic exploitation of India. So when we talk about the method of assertive nationalists, then their main focus was to get a large share for Indians in the administration departments and to end the British economic exploitation from India. They believed that these objectives could not be realized without pressure tactics and some sort of direct action. So, assertive said that British cannot realize these all objectives unless we give them any pressure or unless we challenge them directly. So we need to give them pressure and to challenge them directly. Hence they adopted the policy of non-cooperation. That's why in the process of we'd call the controlling economic exploitation and for getting a larger share of administration part for the Indians, they adopted the policy of non-cooperation. What do you mean by non-cooperation? Non-cooperation means now British should not be cooperated anymore. British should not be supported anymore in any field, in any area. And the resistance to unjust act of British government and to oppose strongly British government in India. They gave new slogans to national movement like non-cooperation, passive resistance. Okay, so passive resistance means opposing strongly, mass agitation, public protest, and self-reliance, and to fight confidently against British. The method adopted by them can be grouped into 4 categories. They are: first one, Swadeshi. Swadeshi means producing necessary items in one's own country and using them for the one's use without being dependent on imported goods. So Swadesi means the goods are goods which are produced in India by Indian factories that should be used much, or that should be implemented much by boycotting the British goods. The Swadeshi idea was popularized by occasional bonfire of foreign cloth, salt and sugar. So Swadeshi idea was popularized, made famous by burning the burning the foreign goods like clothes, salt and sugar. Now number 2, boycott. Swadeshi and boycott are two sides of the same coins. Tilak said, when you accept Swadeshi, you must boycott foreign goods. So Tilak said that when we are accepting Swadeshi or the Indian goods, then we have the attitude to boycott the or deny the foreign goods. Economic boycott of British goods and use of Swadeshi was designed to encourage Indian industries and provide the people within more opportunities for employment. So Swadeshi movement was launched by assertive nationalists in order to encourage Indian industries and provide the people with more opportunities for employment. It also proved as a most effective weapon for harming British interest in India. And boycott and Swadeshi became very effective weapons for harming British economical interest and the political progress. Lala Lajpat Rai said, we desire to turn our faces away from government houses and turn them to huts of people. This is the spiritual significance of the boycott movement. So, Lala Lajpat Rai said that now onwards we should not face towards the government houses or the buildings, but we must face towards our Indian huts or the we call the houses. Now let us discuss about the leaders of assertive nationalism and their contribution. So let us begin with Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Bal Gangadhar Tilak was born in 1856 and died in 1920. Bal Gangadhar Tilak is known as the father of assertive nationalism. So he was the father of assertive nationalism. He played a leading role in popularizing the cult of patriotism. So he was the most important person who popularized the love of patriotism and making the Congress movement broad base. Tilak was born in Maharashtra, that is the birthplace of Tilak. After taking his degree in law, he founded the Pune New English School. So that was the we'd call the education's part which we can see about Tilak. The Deccan Education Society was founded by him under Justice Ranade's guidance in 1884. Gokhale and Tilak were its members. The society set up many educational institutions, including the famous uh, Ferguson College at Pune. Now let us talk about the contribution of Tilak for the national movement. First point, demand for Swaraj. Tilak was the first to openly declare the demands for Swaraj. Swaraj is my birthright, he said, and I shall have it. So that was the, we would call, slogan of uh, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and he said that Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. Tilak was convinced, he was firm, determined that political rights could be achieved by forcefully demanding them. That means he said that if we want to achieve political powers and rights, then we must demand British government forcefully. His entry in the Indian political sense was marked by a shift from petitions to demand for political right. He was the first nationalist leader who sought close contact with the masses. Masses means the Indian people, group of people, with this objective and to inculcate courage. He inflamed courage, self-defense, and patriotism. So, during his contribution in the national movement, he inculcated courage, self-defense, and patriotism among the people. He organized many akharas and lathi clubs where physical trainings were imparted. So, in order to make Indian nationalist volunteers strong physically, he organized akharas and also organized the lathi clubs. Now, let us talk about second number, priest nationalism. In 1893, Tilak started using the traditional religious Ganpati festival to propagate nationalist idea through songs and speeches. In 1895, he glorified Shivaji and started the Shivaji festival to encourage young Marathins or Maharashtrians. He started two newspapers, Maratha in English and Kesari in Marathi, which soon became the mouthpiece of his idea. Through these newspapers, he preached nationalism and taught the people to be courageous and self-reliant. He wrote two well-known books, Gita Rahasya and the Arctic Home of the Vedas. Now number 3, established Home Rule League. Tilak set up a Home Rule League at Pune in 1916 to attain self-government within the British Empire by constitutional means. Now let us discuss about the forerunner of Gandhiji. Why Bal Gangadhar Tilak is known as the forerunner of Gandhi. Tilak was the forerunner of Mahatma Gandhi in a number of ways. First, Tilak's idea of Swaraj was similar to Mahatma Gandhi's idea of complete independence. So, before Mahatma Gandhi implemented these all ideas for the national movement, Bal Gangadhar Tilak had already used these all ideas for the national movement before Mahatma Gandhi jumped into the national movement and implemented these all ideas. So Tilak was the first man to implement the same ideas and same we would call the methods for national movement before Mahatma Gandhi. So second, Tilak sought close contact with the masses as Mahatma Gandhi did. So Tilak was the first person who got contacted with the people of the country. And same thing we find about Mahatma Gandhi, who later on got supported or organized the group of people for the national movement. Third, Tilak preached the idea of Swadeshi, boycott, and prohibition. So, Swadeshi, boycott, and prohibitions were the ideas of Tilak, which were later on used by Mahatma Gandhi during his national movement. So these ideas were preached and followed by Mahatma Gandhi later on. Fourth, Tilak had to suffer several terms of imprisonment for the sake of country, an example followed by Mahatma Gandhi and other nationalist leaders. Now let us talk about Bipin Chandra Pal. He was born in 1858 and died 1932. Bipin Chandra Pal was born in Sylhet, now as a part of Bangladesh, in the year 1858. Bipin Chandra is known as the father of revolutionary thought in India. He started his political career as a social reformer attached to Brahmo Samaj. He visited a number of European countries and United States of America. He was during this visit that he observed how people resisted foreign dominations. In 1886, he joined the Indian National Congress. Now let us talk some contributions of Bipin Chandra Pal. First, role as a generalist. As a generalist, he worked for Bengal Public Opinion, the Tribune, and New India to propagate his brand of nationalism. So, in order to spread nationalism in India, he wrote some of the newspapers, and through these newspapers, he spread the feeling of nationalism in India. Next one, number two, national education. Bipin Chandra wanted national education to be basic of freedom movement. It would arouse nationalistic passion and became an effective instrumental of social progress. Number three, social and economic reform. Bipin Chandra Pal wanted to remove social and economic evil from society. For this, he made the following efforts. First, he opposed the caste system and other rigid rules concerning inter-dining and intermixing. Number two, he advocated widow remarriage. He encouraged widow remarriage. Number three, educating women. He believed he was the most effective way of elevating their position. Fourth, he stressed the need to develop indigenous industries in the country. So these are some of the contributions of Bipin Chandra Pal. Now let us talk about Lala Lajpat Rai's contribution. Lala Lajpat Rai contribution. First, an educationist and a forceful writer. Lala Lajpat Rai was a prolific writer, was an excellent writer. When he was in the USA, he started a monthly magazine, Young India, to spread the message of the right of India to attain Swaraj. His publications include The Call of Young India, England's Debt to India, and Political Future of India. Next we have, in his contribution only, a social reformer. Lala Lajpat Rai was associated with the Aryan Samaj movement. He was instrumental in expansion of DAV College at Lahore in 1886. So, as a social reformer, Lala Lajpat Rai was connected with Aryan Samaj movement. He was a main person or a main instrument to expand or spread DAV College at Lahore in 1886. He opened orphanage, hospitals and schools. He set up servant of People's Society for welfare of the downtrodden and outcast. Downtrodden means the lower caste or the lower caste, or the we would call the suffered class or the suffering classes. So dear students, these are the points which we had to discuss, and today through this video I have explained to you. Please go through with these points and then try to understand the whole points, complete points. Thank you.